Clutch pipe is in and tightened up. Do be careful when doing this. Things are brass, so you can only get a certain amount of torque on it without it stripping, so do be very careful. As you can see back there, I have put on a clip. That is just to stop the bugger from rattling, and I had to put a couple of sets in it, and now it's over to there, looking good. The next most awkward piece is going to be the piece that goes around the bell housing, starting there. And again, I can't really do this until I've got my ramp. Yes, I can put the pipe on, but it's so long it's gonna stick down until I get down underneath and bend it into position. And I don't want it dangling down when I'm moving the car around. So that'll be the next little jobby. Right, what are we going to move on to now? Well, I do have the brake lines to do. I need to make a drawing as to how I think it hangs together, because I'm using a new type of rooster booster. And I'm not sure exactly how the plumbing should go. I've never created one. I've got a vacuum tank, I've got the new booster, I've got the master cylinder. The booster has 2 pipe connections on it. The master cylinder here has 2 pipe connections on it. I have a fluid reservoir. So the fluid reservoir, I believe, I gotta think whether that goes to the booster first. No, I think it goes to the master cylinder first. Then from the master cylinder to the booster, there is a vacuum line that goes on to the vacuum tank. Then I believe I'm correct in saying that the booster line then goes out to the brakes. So let's see, that would, one of the master cylinder connections goes to the fluid reservoir, the other master connection goes down to the brake booster. So there's one on the brake booster and one out of the brake booster. Yeah, that's got to be it. I'm sorry guys, I've never done this before. So, you know, created from nothing, basically. I just keep doing that. That's Dave's fault. All right, so let's get on now and have a look and see if I can figure out how the drawing should go. And maybe what I'll do is I'll draw it out and I'll show you guys how I think it goes, and then you can tell me I'm an idiot, or you can say, yes, that's exactly how it goes, Gary. Well done, you're brilliant. That's what I'd like to hear, but only if it's true. Other than, oh dear, what a fucking idiot. I don't want to hear that, but if that's what it is, that's what it is. So let me get my drawing made. Give me 1 second. All right, here is the drawing as I believe the braking system should be connected. Now, the reason for my doubt is the brake servo is a new style servo, not like the original one. So it doesn't have a breather pipe. It has a vacuum line, and my idea is to incorporate the vacuum tank, thereby giving me an extra chance of brake boost. But if anybody knows that is wrong with these new servos, please let me know. Also, the connections on the servo, there's one at the back here and one on the end, and I'm assuming the one on the end goes out to the brakes. Now again, on the master cylinder there are 2 connections. There's one at the end and then there's this one at an angle. So I believe the fluid comes through here, goes to the one at the end, and then when you push the brake pedal, it shoves the fluid in that direction into the brake servo. Ignore the arrow on the end there, that doesn't mean shit. It's just the box I used. So you experts out there, and I am not one, I've not set up a complete system like this before. I've only ever worked on brake systems, and I must admit I didn't take note of which ones went to where, and just, you know, take one out, put a new one in. So that's how I believe it works. Any of your thoughts out there would be gratefully received. As I said, I think that's how it goes. The fluid goes from the reservoir bottle into what is the connection on the end. Now do note that the brake pedal would be here, and this end is just the end of the master cylinder. So then, as I said, the pedal would be in here. And then the fluid comes out of the one at the angle at the back, and then there would be the mounting flange here, and into the servo. And again, I believe it goes into the connection on the back of the cylinder on the servo, and then the one on the end shoots it out to the brakes, and then obviously it breaks out from here, breaks out, to the front brakes, one each side, and then a single one to the rear brakes. And the servo gets its vacuum from the vacuum tank, but obviously, sorry, from the manifold via the vacuum tank. Please, if anybody knows any different, or I've really made a fuck up of this, let me know. Thank you. Well, in doing all this clutch work and getting pipes in, I tell you what, it's bloody tight back there. But do note, there is, if I can show you, hang on a second. Damn it. Excuse me, I'll be right with you guys. Oh, don't you love it when shit like this happens? What I want to do is balance the bloody light. There is a wire harness there, and it's touching the back of the cylinder head. I believe it should actually be on top of those pipes, the heater pipes, rather than up against the cylinder head. So what I have to do is I'll have to undo that bracket there and pull the wiring harness up and over and on top of those pipes. But of course, to do that I have to disconnect the heater motor again. Yep, one of the joys. Oh, and I'm looking at those wires, or cables should I say, for the heater valve and the flap. I don't think it's going to make a difference as long as on the inside I mark which one is which. One will obviously be slightly longer than the other, even though at the moment they're both the same length. But the one that goes to the heater valve has got to come further, of course, and the one that goes to the flap control down the bottom there will obviously be longer inside. So it should be easy to indicate. Another silly little thing, and a hole here, didn't know what it was for, so I've put a grommet in it. Also, I had a spare hole over there. At the moment I have no use for it, I don't believe. I can't see anything else coming through it. I think I've got everything coming in that should come in. The other two holes up there, they're for the battery strap. Okay. Oh, I must put a nut on this exhaust manifold carburetor just to stop this baby from falling off. It's very handy it being in here out of the way. Stops me damaging it. So that's good to know. All right. Okay, that's it now. Sorry, very short video, but please, 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 if you do know how brake systems should be set up, and I've got it completely arse about face, then please let me know. I'm pretty sure I got it right, but hey, you're never too old to learn, and you're never too old to make mistakes, and if you don't do shit, you can't ever make a mistake. Well, I'm happy to do shit. I'm happy to make mistakes. I'm happy to show them to you guys so that someone out there that perhaps has a bit more knowledge than I do, and you know, I got a lot of knowledge, but I don't know everything. Maybe they can point it out to me and say, no, Gary, you need to blah. Or, yes, Gary, that's exactly right. You're brilliant. And please feel free to say I'm brilliant. I don't mind. Right, now get out in the garage. Go do your own shit. Now, just to highlight what I was prattling on about there, this is the brake master cylinder. There is one connection on the end here, which I believe is connects to the fluid reservoir. And the other connection here, I believe that goes down to the servo. Let me show you the servo so that you know what I'm talking about with the servo. And I'd hate to plumb this all and it'd be wrong. So, here is my nice new servo. Now, if I turn it, okay, we have a vacuum line here. See, we have the vacuum line here. That's simple. That goes off to the vacuum tank. Then on the cylinder itself, you can see there's one connection here at the back and one connection here at the front. I believe the fluid goes in at the back here and then comes out here and goes off to the brakes. That's what I believe. If anyone knows any different, please do let me know. Thank you. Much appreciated.